Once upon a time, there were two sleep-deprived college students who thought the conversations they had in private were fucking hilarious and made the grave mistake of starting a podcast. Did they know what they were doing?
Nope.
Was this a good idea?
Probably not.
Were they funny?
Yeah.
Now their travels are far from over, and many more stories will be told of their misfortune as they will continue to barely live, sadly ever after. Good night, my little homie. Sleep tight. One of us only listens to K-pop, and the other one thought G-Sandies were cool before the TikTok thing was a thing. My name is Steven, last name redacted.
And my name is Grant.
This is Kiss the Homies Goodnight, episode 2.
Fuck.
God. It is 12:41 for those at home when we were recording this. PM or AM.
Yeah.
We were both enjoying some freshly cooked bread that Grant made.
Don't love Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day.
It was Valentine's Day.
I hate that's one of my least favorite things you do. Because we'll always stay up really late and I'll be like, oh, see you tomorrow. And Grant will always look at me because it's like 1:30 in the morning. He's like, do you mean today? Like,
yeah, it's...
you're a bastard.
As you know, I'm in the, what is it called? The talking phase with a gentleman on Discord.
Oh, we're dropping information.
Oh, no names. No names.
Well, obviously no names. But if this gentleman from Discord were to somehow find out about the podcast, they would know who would be talking.
No one's going to find out about this.
Hey, listen. First episode, 9 views. I'm pretty sure only 5 of those views were us.
Okay, well...
Still only 2 subscribers, though.
One of the 4 was in there. Fuck me, I guess.
Here, you want to know the real kicker about the fact that we have 2 subscribers and there's 2 of us?
Yeah.
I sent the podcast to Sydney.
Oh, she doesn't give a shit.
She can at least friend, support, subscribe.
It was not bad, but it was not polished.
Yeah, I don't care. Friends subscribe to other friends' bad ideas. Let's call it right now.
No, we're not going to.
I mean, we're not going to, but we know damn well she's up right now.
But yeah, circling back, so I may have been DMing him back and forth about I don't even know what, because we talk about just the dumbest shit. However, at some point, so it was, it was a Friday. So we played D&D on Saturday. So at some point, it's 1:30 in the morning on Saturday, and I say, well, see you tomorrow, I guess. And then I just interject, later today. And that either killed him, or he's fine with it and doesn't give a shit. But, God, okay, this is fucking stressful.
It's so adorable hearing you talk about.
But why?
It's just, I've waited over a year for you to finally...
What were you waiting for?
I don't know, to tease you about this.
Yeah, I guess. Well, you're doing it.
It's like...
Enjoy it while it lasts.
I think there is something to be said about, like the law of equivalent exchange, where it just so happens when a relationship for me ends, one for you forms. And so there's good and bad in the world. But I just think it's also just adorable to me how awkward you are talking about this right now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you never got to the end of that story.
Well, here's the funny thing. He very openly said, not even in the DMs, but in one of the group chats in the club that we're in, that he doesn't know when someone's flirting with him. And neither do I. So we're going to keep fucking doing this thing, and it's either going to fizzle out or it's going to take several years to go anywhere.
Or you could not let it fizzle out and just be like, hey, you up?
But that takes effort.
Like, I mean, there's options for you.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I don't know what game you're looking for in a relationship. Besides, like booty of some sort, I assume. But I'm sure that I could help you out here with some pickup lines or something like that. So whenever you meet him in person, you just gave me a look. What's the look for?
Somebody just walked like that way. I mean, it's in the other house.
Oh, the other house behind us? Okay.
Okay, sometimes I catch reflections of stuff on the TV in the window behind you, and it fucking.
That is horrifying. You don't tell me you do.
Well, no, it's reflection from the TV, and I think it's other people, but it's the TV.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a moron.
Well, I don't think should really explain the orientation of the room. So let's move back to the. Here's what I'm thinking. When you meet him for the first time, IRL, don't go in for the handshake. Straight dick shake. Because it asserts dominance, even though you're a dirty little bottom. But maybe it asserts dominance, and also it lets you know, like, down to clown. The more I think about it, the more it might be sexual.
That is actually sexual.
The more I think about it.
We're not doing that, Steven.
Here's the thing, though.
No. You can't make me, Dad.
Son, I want you to grab the boy's dick. Wow.
You sound like a boomer.
What boomer? What fucking boomer sounds like that?
Grab her by the pussy, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thanks, Steve.
But it's a guy, though, so it's not sexual assault, right? Listen, if I've been taught anything, if you grab a guy's dick, Wendy Williams will call you a pussy for it. Because that's what happened to Terry Crews when that happened. And Wendy Williams came out and she was basically like, yeah, Terry Crews, stop being a little bitch. And so, I mean, I think you won't be canceled for it.
Well, it's a good thing Wendy Williams doesn't know we exist.
Very fair. I mean, you're excited, obviously, for this. I mean, but it's the potential.
Am I? Okay.
Listen, you did. I don't know you in high school, but like you're acting the way I did when I got my first high school girlfriend, or like when I was asking my first high school girlfriend. That's the way you're acting now. It's just so surprisingly so much hornier.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Oh. How many? See, here's and I don't know if this is just a gay thing because I don't really know like any other perspective, but he has jokingly made a pass at me 4 times in the last week.
Why am I not informed about this?
We have another group chat.
Well, okay, I know about the secret group. Okay, so for clarification, we are a part of a club here at the university.
I don't think we can drop names.
It's not going to drop names, but we're a part of a club here that enjoys doing games. And Mr. Edgelord here, Grant, along with 4 or 5 other members of this club, including another mutual friend, just started putting a combination of the most depressing, like you might need to get help kind of stuff, and just raw horny sexual shit. A combination of two. To the point that they had to make a new rule in the Discord. And you had to banish that talk to a whole nother Discord that you guys had to create.
Well, they didn't make the rule. It's just that, and according to someone who's been in the club for years, this is the first time anyone's enforced the rules. So we fucked it up.
I mean,
kind
of. And I never found, because it was a while back and I wasn't part of the conversation at the time. But like, from what you described it to me as, it was like some severely like depressed. Like if they didn't know you like that, they'd be concerned that you might like try and do something bad to yourself.
The funny thing is, I very explicitly stated I wouldn't.
Okay, but that's the thing though. Like, that almost never works. Like when you preface something like, "Listen, I'm not gonna hurt myself," but if you don't know that person very closely, that I'm not going to do blank means nothing in the situation, because the latest thing you said to them was something along the lines of jumping off a fucking bridge. You know what I'm saying there? Yeah. Like if you didn't know me super well, like let's say we were just acquaintances, and I was like, no, I'm not going to kill myself, but sometimes I just want to jump. Don't give me the fucking, the fingers, the ooh-woo fingers. He's giving me the ooh-woo fingers right now, ladies and gentlemen. But if you barely knew me, and I was like, oh God, I'm not going to jump off a bridge or anything, but sometimes I'm just so emotionally exhausted that I want my head to cave in 100 feet down below onto the ground. Would you not be... Okay. Would somebody not be concerned if I said that?
They would be.
Exactly. So you can't blame the moderators of this Discord for doing this, right?
Oh, I don't. I
Okay.
don't at all.
Just
We
want to
just had to
clarify.
move it to a different.
How about listen, maybe the folks home can comment. I hear in some wiggity whack weird way am the most relationship savvy out of the group by some metric or something.
Disgusting.
Sadly, which really says a lot about our group. How is he quote unquote made a pass at you? Because we are now a relationship podcast.
God, do I want to? Okay, no, we're gonna scroll through the group chat because I've kind of wiped it from my brain, so I don't.
What? So you don't nut to it later? Like, what do you?
Well, not quite, but yeah.
All right. Well, while Grant's looking up here, yes.
I haven't found it yet. Just
Let's vamp for a bit, I guess. So I'm a bitch for a good bandana. I feel like it should be said. I think I might start a bandana selling business. Because I have some pretty dope ideas for bandana designs. This bit was not as funny as I thought it'd be initially. I didn't even think it'd be funny.
I thought you were going with the Yellowstone box from Bespoke.
I am going with the Yellowstone box from Bespoke. I fuck with bandanas. And Grant, you know what? The more I think about it, I might just rock a bandana around the neck sometimes. And it's a look I've always wanted to do, but I've never had the confidence to do it. Or really the care about how I look to do it.
What's stopping you? We're in a pandemic.
Well, what's stopping me now because we're in a pandemic is why in the name of anything would I put any effort into going to online class? I just wear the same Philip DeFranco sweatshirt every day. I wash it obviously at the end of the week, but like that's my just chilling around sweatshirt. Like why would I put any effort into doing this?
Excellent question. I didn't realize how much shit we put into this group chat. I just scrolled up past the part about swallowing our teeth to reabsorb the calcium.
What?
Swallow your teeth to reclaim the calcium, Steven.
I need to speak up a bit, but I
Yeah,
I understand.
Fuck.
You can't just say this shit, Grant.
I can, and I just did.
No, we can't. We're only 2 episodes in. We don't have the clout where we can say stuff like that.
Okay, well, I mean, I can't find the other instances, but most recent instance is me saying fuck me in the group chat and him replying smirk emoji with the is for me pointing fingers.
Okay, fair. And I respond when you say that. I'll occasionally hit you with that same response, but I'm also not gay, so I feel like because he does. I'm assuming he knows that.
Yes.
I feel like him knowing that and him obviously knowing that he's gay. I feel like it's different. Like I do feel like that is a flirt.
Hold on, I found some. Wait, no.
You found the receipts?
I might have. What the fuck?
This is riveting content right now for the folks home. Let me narrate this like we're at a sports ball game. Grant lines up to his phone, his face glistening from the shimmering product he put on it to make himself look godly. His thin pencil mustache primed to watch kids creepily from a distance at a playground. Wearing a...
I just scrolled up to the line. You think ice would hurt your butt?
What?
We were having some really weird conversations, and
say it with conviction into the microphone. Say with conviction what you just said.
Somebody in our group chat whose identity I'm not at a liberty to disclose may have, in lieu of actually buying sex toys, put a big piece of ice up his ass. Or tried to.
Oh, I think I know who that is.
Do you now?
Well, I know who's in.
I mean, you're not going to say it, but yeah,
I know who's in the group chat, and I know who identifies as male in the group chat. And there's only one other option. I'm thinking. Kind of sound like a country.
Yeah.
The country you despise.
Yeah, it's the other guy who made a pass at me whose message I didn't read because I was only focused on what the other guy was saying.
That is true. You did. Didn't you specifically respond? They both basically said, "I'll fuck you." And you specifically responded to one of them and ignored the other completely.
Yeah.
That was breaking hearts over there.
Oops.
absolute
fuck is-
heart throb, dick throb, if you will.
God, no.
You're not a fan of that?
No. No one's a fan of that.
What do you, Grant? The amount of times you just sat me down and talked about your passion for throbbing dicks is countless.
Oh.
You haven't denied this fact.
Oh, is that the recording?
It's like, Steven, I told you not to say that. You told me that we said it'd be private.
I'll just be right back. I gotta draw a giant wiener in my friend's Minecraft world.
Okay, at this point,
We're
I
all
don't know
chill.
if we're gonna find it.
We're not. There's so much in here, but
And this was made like a week ago, right?
no, this was made like 4 days ago.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk?
We have a lot of thoughts.
I have repressed hormones over here on the left side of the table.
I mean, do you want to talk about weed and threesomes? What?
You talk about weed? You're not a weed guy.
No, but I could be.
Is he making you a weed guy?
No,
Are you gonna be a weed guy for this guy?
no, he can't smoke weed.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the more you know.
Eh,
Also, we had this conversation. We were talking about threesomes the other day, coincidentally, on the way home from the gym.
yes, of course.
And I never got. So I assume you'd be in a. Because I feel like the way threesomes have to work is as either one of the people has to be straight and two of the people have to be bi, or all three of you have to be bi, or all three have to be the same gender, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Because like I'm thinking like, because I was talking about like typical guy, typical straight male. You want like, there's always been like the fantasy of like the 2-girl thing, 2-girl, 1 guy. But like from a realistic standpoint, like I don't know if old Bessie could handle that.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one dick in that whole equation.
There's only one dick, but also like, listen, let's be honest here. How many shots you got before it's not happening? Like I don't listen. Like I feel like I'm pretty good in bed. I've been told I'm decent in bed by certain individuals, but like I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. Like that's a lot of pressure.
Ah,
What? Did you find it?
we found it.
You found it? Thank God, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, me. Fuck me. Person B, I mean if you want. Person A, careful what you wish for. Me replying to person A with the is for me pointing finger emoji. Person B, wow, thanks a lot. So, I may have unintentionally curved a guy who made a pass at me jokingly, even though
This is what you were talking about earlier.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.
We see you finally put yourself out there after not doing so for a year. And this is what happened when you put yourself out there. People are like, oh, Grant's out there. Let me slide in.
Haha, puns.
That's not what I meant.
Isn't it?
Believe it or not, that's not what I meant. I meant
It's
slide
not.
in.
Okay.
Freaking dirty mind over here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think fairly clearly that's flirting. Like there's a. At no point have you guys like made a we're friends thing. You know, it's kind of ambiguous. And like you both know each other's gay. And you both constantly talk about your desire to just bone.
Here's the thing, we don't actually know. Neither of us actually knows how to interpret. Isn't this fun?
Well, I've been where you're at. I know you're saying I know somewhere in you he's clearly flirting with.
Yeah.
And like I've seen you flirt up close in person.
Have you now?
Yes.
When?
Do we want to do this in the podcast?
Bet.
Do we want to do this in the podcast? Do you want me to fucking at you right now? Is this what you want, Grant?
Fuck it.
When you had a thing for me when we first met.
Oh, fuck.
And okay, folks, let me get a little closer to the camera here. So, about a month into knowing Grant, he liked me, and we were all hanging out at me, Grant Costin, and Sydney were hanging out at Sydney's room. And I just started getting like, Grant was talking to me a bit, and I was kind of getting like, it was different. It was a little different vibes. And he kept saying something along the lines of like, don't make me kiss you. Like, I'll kiss you. Like, I'm like, because like, I'd like poke him, and he'd like look back at me. He's like, I'll kiss you. And I'm like, no, you won't. And he's like, oh yeah, I will. I'll kiss you so hard. Like, at one point you said,
God.
at one point you said to me, it was just you kept threatening to kiss me. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. At one point, I was laying down in the bed, and I think you kind of like put your hand on my hip and laid next to me.
No, I said I would, and I didn't because that would be gross.
Oh yeah, that's
gross.
You did. You threatened to cuddle me.
Even grosser.
You threatened to cuddle me, and I say like I'm not like listen. I'm all for a nice bro cuddle, but there was definitely some sexual undertones to what you were
The
saying.
vibes were not good.
The vibes were not bro vibe. They were fuck bro vibes.
Can we put this on the internet?
I asked if you wanted me to at you.
Maybe just cut this bit out.
What do you mean cut this bit out? The fans want to know.
I'm so glad this is one of the earlier episodes.
This is probably nobody will ever see this.
No one's gonna find this.
I mean, we're probably never gonna be famous, but when we are famous, people dig this up.
Cancelled.
Listen, here's the thing. Like,
It's fine now. We live together. See, it
Yeah.
gets better.
Here's the thing. We lived it. All right. Here's the Grant flirted with me. I was kind of uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. Like, not because I don't think Grant's a very attractive man or anything. I just at this current point in my life and at that time in my life, I identified as a straight male, and the friendship was kind of put on hold for about a week until you just to finish the conversation. So
A week.
I think it was only a week.
It took a while. It took me a while. I don't know. You might have gotten over it in a week. That was a whole.
I was over it like half an hour after it happened.
That
Me and
was
Sydney
3
talked.
months.
It's like you and Costin went back up.
Yeah.
And Costin texted me. He's like, "Yo, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm fine." Like I just like that was a little weird, right? And he's like, "Yeah, that was a little weird." And Sydney talked to me. He's like, "Did you notice that Grant was flirting with you?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure I did." But like after like an hour, I was like, "I'm fine." Like it didn't for me. It didn't like hurt the friendship at all. And I understand for you, it might have been 2 weeks now that I think about it. Because we used to do Stardew all the time, and we didn't do Stardew for a week, I think, or a week or two.
Yeah.
And you snapped me, and you're like, "Hey," like you gave me a nice apology, and I was like, and I really tried. And tell me if you think this, but I really tried to be like, "Dude, it's 100% fine."
I have blocked this out of my memory, and I'm so glad that you brought this up again, even though I told you to do it.
You told me to do it, so don't be mad at me. And so like I sent you back something. I thought I was like, listen, like it's all good. I can't tell you how much I don't care that you flirted with me. Like I personally, that's not what I. In another life, we'd be a great couple together. But like I'm not at this like current point in my life into that. And to be fair, it's not 100% your fault because as Sydney told me, Sydney told you that I was bi, even though I had never told her I was bi.
She told you she told me she suspected.
Yeah, and I never told like I'm fairly free with my sexuality. You know, I'm not awkward about it. Like I feel like I'm fairly like open about that kind of stuff. And even though like I identify as straight, like I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff about me that makes people think that I'm not.
Evidently.
Well, yeah, I do get flirted with a lot by gay guys. But that's a story for another time.
Oh, it must be nice.
If you put yourself out there, Grant, you are a nice.
In what way are you putting yourself out there?
When I put this ace on the streets, they can't help but stare.
I'm starting to think Bryce is right, and I just walked too fast.
You do walk fairly fast, but just to finish the story. So yeah, it's not fully on you because Sydney told you that I might be bi. Even though, once again, Sydney, I know you're not listening to this because I know you don't support us at all. But
God.
I'm sorry. But like I'm not, and I'm sure maybe at some point I expressed maybe like there was an idea, but I never explicitly said I was, and so to be fair, it's not all on you.
Yeah, where was that? Like, where were we? What the fuck was going on?
I was talking about how bad you were at flirting, and I said I've seen it firsthand. And you're like, really? Did you? Like, and I was like, do you want me to at you? Do you want me to pull it up right now? Pull the receipts?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we live together. Like, it's not.
Yeah, my memory's got more holes in it than Swiss cheese, which is funny because I haven't had any, between the two of us, I have had significantly fewer traumatic brain injuries than you.
Well, I'm going for a record at some point. I'm at like 12 right now. I'm double digits at my brain injuries, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Mostly from all y'all out there be like, oh, football? It's actually from wrestling. I had a horrible wrestling coach. We're not going to go into that now because that's suppressed and extremely depressing memories. If when we hit 1,000 subscribers, I will go into how depressing wrestling was, and you will feel bad.
That might be a while. Are you sure you're gonna remember it?
Oh, geez.
But yeah, well, back to being gay and doing crime, I guess. It's like playing 5D chess in the dark. I have no idea.
It's not, though.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know what moves he's making. I don't know what the moves mean.
And I know it's COVID, but just literally ask him, hey, I know COVID and everything's stressful, but you said you were moving closer soon. And just literally ask him, be like, hey, would you want to like stop by? And don't even frame it as a date. Be like, oh, do you want to stop by and me and my roommate and you can like watch a movie together? Or maybe we'll all get together for okay, I'm realizing now it's a third wheeling thing, and so I realize that might sound weird. But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to frame it as a date. Like, even say, hey, do you want to come over on Saturday and we can all play D&D while we're in the same room or something like that? Like, just float the idea about maybe at one point later, if you feel comfortable, would you want to hang out?
Oh, I was gonna give another like a month.
Well, I'm not saying, but like, give it like a week or two. But like, also, I think you need to speak up a little bit.
Oh, probably.
So I'm looking at the things. I know I naturally talk louder than you, but I think it will be okay. And here's the thing. Even just looking at the previous example, you shot your shot with me, didn't hit, but now we live together and we're friends. So I mean, either way, you're gonna probably get a friend. Like the worst case scenario, like you'll probably still get a friend. I'm assuming it wouldn't be as awkward as it was with me.
Probably not. But
I mean, it's a fair assumption. Hey, I assumed you were into me. First of all, yes, you're gay, so I know that. So I know there's already a possibility. And then I know that you made what I thought would be a pass. I mean, like if you were to see that, I'd be like, oh, that looks like a pass. I understand that. Like, I don't see this in any way going bad for you.
We are half an hour in, and I hate to say it, but this isn't nearly stupid enough for the podcast. We're gonna keep it in here because I do think it's
Well, we're talking about
valuable
our lives.
contact.
We have some nice bits. We had some nice bits planned, and by planned I mean we said them once in the car ride to Costco yesterday.
Yeah, and this time I didn't have an almost flat tire.
Nice. We also didn't crash, which is
Yeah.
a plus.
We also didn't scrape all the ice off of the trunk of my car because we couldn't, and I didn't want to fucking just smash open the back windshield trying to get the ice off. But yeah, winter in Pittsburgh is a fucking nightmare because the drivers here are already shit. But when you consider drivers who don't scrape the snow off the top of their cars,
I think it's just your former New Jerseyness, and I know you're no longer a New Jerseyman, but literally everybody I've ever talked to when comparing Pittsburgh drivers to anybody, by far one of some of the best drivers.
that's true. It's just the bus drivers that are like kind of.
Well, the bus drivers they're here to kill. They're here for kills. This was something that your guy was talking about on.
Oh yeah, in New York, the drivers don't give a shit. Get out of the crosswalk or die.
No. He was saying the opposite. In New York, the bus drivers understand that people will cut in front of them. In Pittsburgh, they will run you over.
Yeah.
And that's like fair. Like we once a year, there's a student who dies or gets hit by a bus.
Oh God, we just threw that in there. I don't think. Well, actually, no. Freshman year, I don't. No, I thought she was. I hope she was okay.
Well, I said got hit or died.
Or died.
Yeah.
God, remember they found the dead body on top of the door?
Yeah, they found.
Okay, that was what. No, it was horrible because I was sitting on the fucking charter bus and they were pulling off like out of campus for winter break, and I just get a fucking notification. We get like every so often we'll get notification emails like newsletters from the university, and it's just, or was it a campus police alert? It was just student found on the roof of. I was like, what? And it turns out they weren't alive. So I'm just sitting on the bus, getting ready for a 6-hour bus ride back to New Jersey, and we find out that some kids. Oh, this is horrible. I'm not laughing.
So hard.
I'm not laughing because it's funny to me. I'm laughing because it's tragic, and this is the only way I can process.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because a kid died, and that's funny.
Shut up.
Mr. Kids children.
This is not a kid. We're in college.
Fair, so it was even funnier, right?
No. Okay. No, no, that was horrible. It's not funny. It's not even funny in hindsight, but it's very shocking, and that is really the only way I can deal with that. We're just outing ourselves as the shittiest people on the planet.
Well, yeah, I thought that was assumed.
Yeah. Oh.
I thought if they got through the first episode and they're like, "Oh, these guys seem like two stand-up citizens," maybe we should have them on the podcast because they're dumbasses like us.
Yeah.
Not to add fans, all one of them.
Maybe not even.
Maybe not even.
Bold of you to assume anybody liked it.
Hey, listen, when I was re-listening to do the editing, we had a couple good lines in there. We had some funny bits in there.
We had a couple good lines over an hour and a half.
We had some good bits in there. I don't know if because I feel like the first part of this was a little more serious when we were talking about the relationships.
Yeah.
So it might be a slower start, not as many good bits to start. But let me tell you, we got folks at home after these upcoming commercial messages where we get Skillshare, where Mr. God help me that last.
Don't.
I'm gonna keep asking for Skillshare to sponsor us. We got them.
They
saw
Skillshare.
the views of our thing. Like, goddamn, these are the next big thing. And then they sponsor us. So coming up, sponsored by Skillshare. I don't know if we can.
I would love it if this podcast takes off. They never reach out. I email them like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "We saw your first episode, and we fucking hate you."
We saw your first episode, and also you shout us out every episode without us paying you. Why would we pay you?
What is wrong with you?
To switch. Listen, Halo Top could also sponsor us. That'd be nice.
Do they sponsor anyone?
There's a first for everything.
We could be the first.
We could be the first.
God, that strawberry flavor is good.
Listen, we went from chugging a Ben and Jerry's pint, not a night, but like every once in a while we'd have a Ben and Jerry's pint.
Because then we wouldn't have pancreases.
Well, yeah, obviously. But then we switched to Halo Top because I was like, let's be a little healthier when we eat our pint of ice cream. And then I remember we tried to go back to Ben and Jerry's one night and we both like fucking died because it was so goddamn rich and sugary.
Yeah, that was an experience. It is not the worst dietary mistake we've ever made together.
What would that be?
Reaper sauce.
Oh, good lord. Do you wanna describe that?
Yeah, so freshman year of like anything is pretty bad, right? But sophomore year of high school is kind of tame, so I don't know why the fuck I went into sophomore year of college with the same expectation. But yeah, fall semester, not fantastic. Didn't really love it. But I was able to TA for a bio class I took freshman year, so that was kind of lit. And
Did you just say lit unironically?
bite me. But yeah,
that's his job. That's the guy you're talking to's job.
let me walk you through the last 2 days of the fall term of finals week. So I have a 12-page paper due for my Korean history and culture class. I decided to write on this movie, which is possibly the most depressing fucking thing I've ever seen. The main character kills himself within the first 3 minutes, and then it's just a bunch of flashbacks of how did we end up here, which is horrible because you know it's not going to end well.
Well,
but yeah,
they Romeo and Juliet it, except
so-
depression, suicide.
So that night, I'm just like, I can't fucking write this anymore. So the gang, decides to go get burgers because this was pre-COVID times when we were still allowed outside.
Those times.
Not really, no. But yeah, so we go to a local like burger place.
We'll find establishments where you can customize your burger.
But yeah, so one of the options, because Steven and I are both morons and also sluts for the spice,
Sluts for the spice.
was Reaper sauce. And I please don't ask me to explain how I didn't put two and two together, but I didn't realize that it would just be ground up Carolina Reapers in
Wait,
oil.
what'd you think it would be?
I don't know. Okay.
You never didn't realize it'd be Reaper.
I didn't realize when we were ordering, I took a bite and I was like, ah. But yeah, no. So basically, mm, because like I would see the videos of like, remember when YouTubers eating spicy shit was a thing? But yeah, I would just look at it and be like,
1,000 subscribers, we both eat a Carolina Reaper.
because I was just, oh, those fucking idiots. No, it was really bad. It was because like I grew up in a Chinese household. We ate spicy food basically on the daily, and I fucking loved it. That was horrible. I would never do that again because it burned. And it's usually with spicy food, you swallow it to get it out of your mouth to stop the burning, but then it gets in your throat, and that burns too, and it burns the whole way down.
Well, one of the kickers was that so first it wasn't just Reaper sauce. We got like the super spicy cheese, and there was a different spicy thing we got on it too. And then we also got like jalapeno. And so, but the Reaper sauce was on the pretzel buns, which by the way, pretzel buns superior bun. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah, it soaked up all the chili oil.
It soaked up all the oil, and so normally the bun is an escape from the spice.
It was not.
It was not.
It was
And I remember there was my last two bites were just heat soaked.
It was just bun, yeah. No, I was like, Steven, put that down. You're not gonna eat that. And then did
know
you?
what I did? Oh, I ate it. You didn't finish.
I didn't. I bitched out. I was like, it's not worth it. And it wasn't. I went to the bathroom, fucking gallons of sweat just pouring out of my forehead. The couple sitting at the table by the bathroom looked at me with the most like concerned fucking.
We're sweating so hard. I remember we kept like getting water. The waitress at one point left the thing with us.
She left the picture at the table. But yeah, I just walk into the bathroom, slam the fucking door, turn on the faucet, and basically stick my face under there to get it like off. Oh, that's not even the worst part. So we leave the establishment, go back to the friend's dorm slash apartment. It's university housing, but it is the nicest out of the on-campus housing.
Were we pulling all nighter?
We decide, fuck it, this is gonna be the night we pull an all-nighter. Did any of us need to?
No, none of
Not
us
really.
needed to.
No, for no reason. So I proceed to stay up, watch. Okay, the movie's called Peppermint Candy. Watch it at your own peril. I think you might be able to view it for free. It's a horrible time, and I would not do it if you're not. I mean, it's COVID. No one's in a good
Is the acting
headspace.
good? Is it like technically impressive?
Uh, good question. It is. It's pretty. Yeah. It's well, not pretty. Like it's pretty good acting. But yeah, so I watched that 4 times back to back to write this fucking essay, which I didn't even turn in by the end of the night. I turned that bitch in on the bus ride home, probably an hour before the submission deadline closed, on fucking charter bus Wi-Fi. Oh, no, wait.
Okay.
No, I just had to burp. No. Okay, no. I tried to use the charter bus Wi-Fi and it turned, well, because it's a piece of shit, so it wouldn't work.
The chart.
So I had to use Bluetooth to send the entire fucking 12-page document to my phone and upload it over self-service. Yeah.
Ugh.
It's 12 pages about how this guy fucking. I think it's about. It took place during the Korean War, I think, but it's basically about how the war ruined his life and he turned into a fucking lunatic. And he works for the government or the police at some point, and then he kills himself because he realized that his entire life was shit. But yeah, somebody watched the movie and is very offended by how poorly I summarized that. But anyway, no, that's not.
In that movie's like the family of the man whose movie that was made at, like who inspired that movie.
Oh,
Is so mad at you.
I really hope it wasn't based. I mean, it was probably based.
So
on
all our
story.
Korean fans right now
Of course.
rolling in their graves.
All negative 120 of them. But yeah, no. So catch me staying up all night to write an essay. And around 4 a.m., I realized, oh shit, I'm proctoring the bio final today.
Huh.
So around 9 in the morning, I think the final's at 12, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back, I'm going to take a shower, which did not help me feel any less disgusting, by the way. Take a shower, get ready, head down to the bio like lecture hall building where I proceed to have 4 bouts of flaming diarrhea.
Fiery.
The last of which was like literally within 10 minutes of the start of the final. So I'm just standing in that lecture hall, Burning asshole.
Burning asshole.
Burning asshole.
Probably bleeding at this point, maybe? Like, or
I-
close to it.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to remember.
It sounds like a hot sauce thing. Bleeding asshole.
Oh, I have another story, but well, no, not the one you're thinking of. This was just a different thing, but yeah, no. So I'm proctoring the biofinal, burning asshole, exhausted because I'd been up for about 40 hours at that point. And yeah, at some point the head TA straight up told me to just go home because I was very visibly not okay. And so yeah, I proceeded to go back to the dorm to pack to catch the bus because the bus was leaving an hour after the final concluded. Another bout of flaming diarrhea, which it was bad. I thought I was gonna miss the bus because I was just on the toilet like
Did you have to go on the bus at all? Or were you able to-
no, it was fine. No, I got it all on my system.
That's good.
But yeah, that was a horrible decision, and if you want to suffer, you can do it, but I would not recommend it.
At the 1 million subscriber special,
We're not.
we will fly one viewer out, and we will eat this spicy burger with you. If I may, on some personal perspective of my encounter,
Go for it.
So I, like you, was raised in an Asian household.
How long are you gonna commit to this?
I'm not. I am. Well, this will be a running joke. I am white. I grew up in an area that was 99.9999% white, and I fucking hated it. My mom's side of the family was in Mexico, so I spent the summers there in New Mexico. And ever since then, not to get this, but I'll skim through this quickly. Ever since I was a kid, I hate, and I know this is privileged to say, but I fucking hated being white. And so everything I try to do in my life is to try and be the anti-white, the anti-gringo. And part of that means commit to the spiciest fucking food that is always on the menu.
Oh, I can smell the privilege from here.
I know. I'm fully aware that sounds privileged. I'm fully fucking aware. I understand that, and I accept that. And so I only had 2 bouts of flaming diarrhea. But here's the kicker for me. So after we ate the food and we were sweaty and I went back to our mutual the friend's apartment who at the time, not yet, but somebody was there who I would at later points have a relationship with for a time. And I fucking destroyed their bathroom. Like when I left, like everything was fine. I didn't crack the porcelain or anything like that.
Bruh.
But I stayed in there for an extra 5 minutes just so I could make sure the smell disappeared. And this was in the home of somebody who I'd later be in a relationship with for a period of time.
That wasn't a deal breaker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Damn.
But then I went back and I don't get drunk when I drink alcohol. I get drunk when I don't sleep. And so I don't know if you remember this. I was fairly out of it.
Mhm.
I was fairly out of it walking back. And I ended up going to bed at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
because we didn't have any classes that day. And then I woke up to some flaming shit. But then I was fine. Like my spice, I think my spice tolerance is better than your spice tolerance by a little bit.
Maybe by hair. I think I don't know. My digestive system is kind of fucked.
I think I might I think my body handles spice better than your body.
Yeah. And also alcohol. This is so unfair.
You are a lightweight, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Speaking of alcohol, are you ready to get into one of our first segments ever? It's one of your favorite places in the world.
oh god.
We have a bit, guys, and it's called Hey Australia. What the fuck? And so it's just something we talk about Australia, and I know that all negative 500 of our Australian fans are going to hate this. There is a certain fact that it is like your favorite fun fact in the world. I've heard it from you a million times. Would you like to share with us?
I don't know why I feel compelled to bring this up every time Australia comes up in a conversation, which is surprisingly frequently. I don't know why. I know why it came up the last time, but that doesn't matter. There is a tree, I don't know if it's a tree or a shrub in Australia. The leaves grow, what is it, silica shards? So just think very fine, like little needles of quartz that are filled with poison, and if you so much as brush up against the leaf, they break off into your skin, release the poison, and your skin can grow over it. So you just have little shards of silica in your skin, possibly forever. Get fucked. And I was,
What is the
well,
poison?
it just hurts a lot
Nice.
for a long time. There's the things like the half life of the poison in the body is insane. So it'll just stay there and continue to hurt. And as you move around, it breaks this like silica up even more and it releases more poison.
Mhm.
So you're just in excruciating pain for a while. I'm sure that in like hospitals in Australia, they've developed something to do something about it. But Jesus Christ, why the fuck would you voluntarily live in a country? And
Everything's trying to kill you in that.
everything wants you to die. Why would you stay there? It was a prison colony. Leave.
I mean, like, you have a hatred for Australia.
I love the wildlife because it's horrible.
Well, you love that because it's so goddamn awful. But I've always had a love for Australia because, and the main reason is, I'm not gonna lie, because my favorite song ever, and the part of the reason my favorite song is I have great memories of my dad with it, is Down Under by Men at Work, which is all about Australia being this magic place. And so obviously I'm like, fine, I'm down with Australia. Like, what? The country's literally a prison. They just sent the shitty people there. No offense, Australians, but they did. And that was the country. And I love that. And I know we're not here to bash Australians. We're here to more bash the concept of Australia.
I was about to say the concept.
Fuck. The idea of Australia. I mean, I've never been there. I'm not positive it's real. And the wildlife, which is also amazing and it's horrifying. Although I would be remiss if I didn't say, just a real quick diss to the people living there. You've treated your Aboriginal populations god awfully, and I'm just gonna leave that there. Do with that what you will. If you're mad at me for saying that, I think you're part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, my mom lived in Australia for a couple of years, right? And she
That
loved
explains
it.
a lot.
She loved it there, but I remember the one thing she said is you cannot stand outside with your mouth open for even a second, or bugs will fly into it.
It's so horrifying, Australia. Like, and I love it, and it's. Is there any other group of animal, or country, or continent that could defeat Australia in a animal versus animal knockout fight?
Southeast Asia's got some pretty fucked up shit, but they're very close to each other.
They do. That's what I was thinking. Like, when I was thinking, like, Africa's always got the big boys, but here Australia is like secret because their tanks are really only the saltwater crocodile and the great white shark.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue those are the only real tanks in Australia.
Yeah.
If they put all their stats, I sound so nerdy,
Poison
into
damage.
poison damage. Like that, like they have like 50 different fucking snakes, and all of them will kill you in a different but equally excruciating way.
You know what I think is possibly my least favorite?
Possibly.
Possibly. Fuck. My least favorite. The fucking box jellyfish. Or what? There's a relative of the box jellyfish. Is it the sea wasp? Or is that the same thing? There's a smaller one. Basically invisible. I think the tentacles can. It's disproportionately long for how tiny it is. I'm pretty sure like the little bell like cap thing is like the size of a thimble. I think the tentacles can be like a meter long. You cannot see this bitch in the water, but if it stings you, you're fucked. Because you'll go into shock and you'll drown.
Yeah. There's this show I used to watch when I was younger called The 10 Deadliest. It was something like that. It was on Animal Planet. It was on, I think it was either on after or before Crocodile Hunter. R.I.P. Steve Irwin, fuck PETA. And it was always like the 10 deadliest sharks, the 10 deadliest snakes, the 10 deadly this, 10 deadly that. 50% of the list every fucking time was always, without doubt, Australia. Almost every one of the top 5 was always Australia. Like, I don't, and I should know because of my classes I've taken, what caused God to say fuck you in particular to this one area. Because even look at the animals that were there prior to humans, or at the very earliest of when humans first peopled Australia. They had a fucking basilisk, basically. They had that big ass fucking sloth. Like, even, I know I said earlier the only tanks they have were the shark and the crocodile. Have you seen those roid raging kangaroos?
Those assholes.
Like, it's offensive. If I was born in Australia, I'd look at my parents and be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like that is it is offensive.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's like, Mom, Dad, what the fuck? I'm literally being dragged away by a dingo as we speak. Like, why are you doing this to me? I know you're busy torturing and killing the indigenous populations, but I don't want this. Like, the snake's now bitten me in my ass. A snake has bitten me and my baby, and I'm dead. I assume that's how kids are born in Australia. And if they survive the snake bite, they're allowed to live. It's like Sparta.
Eat the baby.
What if that was true? Like, what if the entirety of Australia was basically one big Sparta where they left the child alone in the outback? God, that was
No, that's
Crockett, mate. Oh, Crockett, mate. Steve Irwin. Okay. Apologies. What if that was the thing that they left a child in the outback for like 5 days, and if it was still alive, it's allowed to live. If it's not, obviously it's dead. So
obviously.
I think
Go on.
I think that listen, Australians out there listening to us, how much cooler would you be if you were still alive? If that's how you were raised? What
are you about?
Okay. First of all, do kangaroos bring babies in Australian stores? Second of all, if you, same idea, leave them out there. Put the baby in a joey sack, a kangaroo holder thing. The satchel, a pouch is the word I'm looking for. And just kind of fucking let them shake. That's what makes them strong, Grant. The more you
severe brain damage,
shake the baby, the stronger they are. Tell me I'm wrong.
I know you said that I'm gonna be, if you have kids in the future, I'm gonna be one of the godfathers, but what the fuck, Ron?
Listen, I've said this before. I never said it to you. I 100% am going to Sparta my kids.
No, you're not.
Yes.
You better not.
if they look, God, I can't even continue that joke.
Please don't.
But yeah, I think life would be better if that's how Australia handled their shit.
We're gonna look back at this in editing and think that's so fucking offensive. Why did we say that?
You mean I'm gonna look back at this in editing?
Yeah. I gotta send you the background visuals. But yeah. Oh, we didn't even get to our other. We have time. We have time. We have time. But yeah.
Which other segment? The why did I buy this at Target?
Yeah.
What
was the other one?
The other one was my beef with that Super Bowl. I think we need to hit that one up just because.
Let's do that because we have to accumulate a list of all the stupid shit we've done at Target. Which includes but is not limited to me thinking that I can loudly and openly curse in Target because, COVID, social distancing. If you're within earshot, you are too close.
Yeah, the kid crying in the corner didn't think that was right.
The kid crying in the corner either already knows the word fuck or is going to discover it within a couple.
Stop projecting. Stop projecting your shit.
No, that is...
Grant hates kids. I said it.
No, that is the least. No, like you learn.
Title of the episode.
You learn most of the curse. You learn so many curse words by the age of 6. Like you don't really know the way described to them, but you know the word itself.
No, you don't. I'm gonna tell you right now. No, you had.
No, that was a real study they did. Like you don't say it. You don't use it in conversation. You are aware of them.
This is what happens when the masses get their science over here.
Eat me.
That's your boy's job now. Normally I'd respond with turn around, but I don't want you to be cheap. Okay, so
you have another 3 months at least before that becomes an actual problem.
Alright, so I was watching the Super Bowl, Grant was down here, so I wouldn't feel depressed. Because obviously we didn't work. It worked a little bit, yeah, definitely. I've appreciated your company in my very compromised time of the past
Mm.
couple weeks.
That's how you know it's bad.
Shut up, Grant. You're a good friend. Um, for those who don't know, went through a little bit of a breakup, so
Just a
that's
little.
what I'm referring to. Um, but we were watching the Super Bowl, and it was on CBS, and whatever channel it's on, they're gonna give you countless promos for their own shitty TV shows because obviously why wouldn't they? They had the Super Bowl, might as well get some free promo. That's like millions of dollars of promo. And so one of them was called Clarice, and it was the Silence of the Lambs continuation, spin-off, something like that. And so there's been a habit in trailers that I've noticed, which I'm sure many other people have noticed, where they'll take a popular song, a loved song, and they will slow it down. Usually they'll make it like if it was a male vocalist, they'll make it a female vocalist, and vice versa, and they'll like give it that alto, depressing version of it to try and make it spooky or scary. It's happened several times, um, and like I'm sure there's plenty of examples out there, but the audacity of these bitches at CBS to do what might be the worst. I've never been so offended. They did a slowed down, depressed version of John Denver's cult classic. It's not a cult classic, but Country Roads. And it hurt me on an ethereal, physical, mental, sexual level.
I gotta say, the funniest thing, this ad, okay, because like the Super Bowl obviously ran on for quite some time with several ad breaks. And every
Just a
time
few.
this ad came on, like it's during every ad break, like oh no, not every, at least like
Every
six,
break this
like 6 or 7 times. And every single time it played, the first 3 times you're like, that song sounds familiar. The fourth time you're like, is that Country Road?
Yeah.
And every time since, you just got increasingly more upset. You're like,
it's a travesty. How could they do that? It's offensive to the very nature of it. It insults me.
I cannot wait for a trailer to come out with Hey Ya by Outkast, but sad and depressed.
Okay, and so the reason I bring this up, besides the fact that I can't let CBS get away with this bullshit, get fans, I'm calling on you right now.
Cancel.
Get after CBS. Hashtag not my country roads. Hashtag bumpkin roads. Hashtag fuck CBS. But don't let the fuck CBS be taken over by like alt-right trolls. That would not be. I'd not be a fan of that personally. And so I'm presenting the question to you now. What are the worst songs that you think would be would be to given this treatment? Because I'll be honest, I am personally a huge fan of these slowed down and reverbed songs in some cases. There's I Found by Amber Run. There's a great version of that. There's a great version of Ed Sheeran's Photograph that is slowed and reverbed. There's a great version of the Plain White T's. What's their song? I'm thinking Breakfast at Tiffany's. That's not the song. It's a song about you're in New York now, and what is that song called? You're gonna Hey there Delilah. And so there's a great version of that. I think it sounds nice. It's eerie. There's also a subsection of that called like this song, but you're in the bathroom at a party and it's in another room. And I like some of those. Like there's certain of those that are nice. And so I'm asking you right now, what do you think is probably one of the worst songs to do in the slowed down, depressed version?
Immortals by Fall Out Boy.
That
would be horrible. That'd be so. Oh god, just the cognitive dissonance.
I'm gonna try and do a version.
We're gonna get copyright claimed
with our 8 views.
Someone's.
I'm not gonna play it.
I mean, obviously, we can't monetize this, but like,
I'm not gonna play it. I'm just gonna. So explain to me why you think it would not be good.
There's something about like a lot of. I feel like the Fall Out Boy does a lot of like sad songs, but this isn't one of them. It's like. I feel like they're hype songs. If you were trying to make a hype song sad, it would be absolutely revolting.
The way it's coming to mind
something very like dissonant about the message versus the overall vibe. Because there are songs like the title track off of Idol's new EP, that was in like inherently a very sad song. I didn't want to call it a breakup song, like, but it is.
Throwback to the intro when I said one of us liked Sea Shanties before they were cool, and one of us only listens to K-pop. All right, now back to the
But
director's
yeah,
sitcom.
because that is about like it's not exactly. I think calling it a breakup song would be oversimplifying it, but it is, and the vibe of the song very much suits that. So I feel like that slowed and even more sad would work. But like
Mhm.
a Fall Out Boy hype song like Centuries, Immortals, Uma Thurman maybe.
I think Centuries might be able to work.
Centuries maybe. Uma Thurman no. Fuck no.
Because I'm remembering how it's going now, and I'm looking at the lyrics, and the way they sing
Yeah.
is very like I understand what you're saying. For me, I would have to say the worst song off the top of my head would be "Pumped Up Kicks." Would be the worst one sung in a depressing way because that there is just something like it's a weirdly hip song considering it's about a school shooting, but that's what makes it work. The second you make it depressing, it is something completely different. It is something that is just not okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine Pumped Up Kicks, but it actually sounds like a school shooting's happening.
I mean, the lyrics already very clearly lay out what's happening. I feel like
But the beats what saves it.
the beats what saves it and makes it so fucking disrespectful.
But it's such a bop, though.
Yeah. I feel like if you were to make it like slowed down and sad, it would just be like, well, it's not like you can't vibe to this, but at least it's like suitably solemn for the topic, which does not make a good song, but
Yeah, I mean,
it makes it politically correct.
that's fair.
Fuck me.
I think we're gonna have to last episode around 18. I think we're gonna have to end it a little early today.
We wanted to keep it around an hour.
Yeah, so this is
we ran
right.
kind of long for our first episode.
So hope you all have a great week. We'll see you same time next week. And don't forget to kiss the homies goodnight.